Atlantis did not begin as a legend, but as a fractured memory carried across centuries, a whisper from Egypt that Solon preserved and Plato transformed into a warning for every civilization. Plato was not merely a philosopher, he was an architect of worlds, shaping ideas with the precision of a builder crafting civilizations from thought. When Solon reached Egypt, he received a memory older than Greece itself, a story of vanished peoples and shattered empires that Plato would later immortalize. The tale carried by Solon survived like a fragile ember, passed through generations until Plato reshaped it into a myth that would outlive time. To Plato, Atlantis was not a marvel, but a moral warning, a demonstration of how power without virtue inevitably collapses. In a few pages, Plato forged a myth that would ignite explorers, scholars, dreamers, and entire civilizations for millennia. In the Timaeus, Atlantis emerges as a flawless civilization whose perfection already hints at an impending tragedy. Its concentric rings of land and water form a geometry so precise, it feels more like a symbol crafted by reason than a city built by hands. The colossal ports and monumental canals described by Plato surpass anything the ancient world could build, as if the city belonged to another age. Then the Critias breaks off mid-sentence, leaving Atlantis suspended in silence, a deliberate void that allowed the myth to grow beyond the text. That silence transformed Atlantis into a realm where memory, imagination, science, and legend intertwine endlessly. In Egypt, Solon encountered a vision of time where civilizations rise, flourish, and vanish in cycles, preserved only by the priests. The priests of Sais revealed the tale of a radiant empire destroyed in a single night, a story they considered historical, not mythical. They spoke of worlds swallowed by cataclysms, of civilizations erased by earthquakes and floods, as if human history were a chain of rebirths. Solon carried this fragile treasure back to Greece, a fragment of ancient memory that Plato would reshape into an immortal myth. Was it myth or historical archive? The question has survived millennia, echoing through every retelling of Atlantis. To Plato, Atlantis was a political allegory, a brilliant civilization collapsing under the weight of its own arrogance. But Atlantis may also be the distorted memory of a real world destroyed by a cataclysm, preserved only through fragments of ancient tradition. Plato forged a founding myth that shaped our imagination, inspired explorers, and fueled scientific theories for over 2,000 years. The debate never dies, because Atlantis forces us to confront the essence of civilization, how it rises, thrives, and ultimately falls. Atlantis is a mirror held up to humanity, a question that survives us and continues to challenge our understanding of the past. The concentric rings of Atlantis form an impossible architecture, a symbolic city where every circle represents a tier of power. At the center stood a sacred palace, the heart of authority, revealing Atlantis as both a political and spiritual construct. The colossal ports and vast canals described by Plato exceed ancient engineering, hinting at a civilization far beyond known history. The hydraulic mastery of Atlantis resembles a technological miracle, one the Greeks could not achieve, but older civilizations might have remembered. Today we could build a city like Atlantis, but 2,400 years ago it was impossible, raising the unsettling question of whether Plato described a dream or a memory. Atlantis is not just a lost city. It is a question that has crossed ages, a mirror reflecting the rise and fall of every civilization. And the story continues. The concentric rings of Atlantis may hide a forgotten model, a blueprint we will explore on July 8th in Episode 6. The myth continues,